Okay. We are recording.
Okay, so Grand Canyon University, then the code on the side, it has like a QR code right here. That's what they could do to scan, and it brings them up to my personal link. And then they can apply on there. The application is free. There's no essays. It takes like 15-20 minutes to complete. So really, really easy application. We are not on the Common App application that comes out in a few weeks. So really good when it comes to that. This is just a video, but you guys were looking for how much it costs. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I frozen?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're still good.
Okay, perfect. So you guys are looking for tuition?
Yes, we're looking at for financial aid options.
Okay, so for financial aid options, let me skip through because this is, of course, some things students love to listen about. Financial aid options. So GCU charges, what you see is what you get. So we charge tuition, textbook, housing, meal plan, and then all the taxes and fees that are within. And we do not have out-of-state tuition. So whether you live in Chicago, whether you live in Oregon, whether you live in California or Arizona, there's no out-of-state tuition. So that's what's really, really nice about it. We do have academic scholarships. So whatever the student is, let's just say we have a student that is a 3.0 GPA, they will get $5,300 every single year they're at GCU up to 4 years. So really, really great on that. Let's just say the student's a 3.5 student, but takes the ACT and gets a 31 on it. Then they now move up to the presidential scholarship of $7,300 because their ACT score is higher than their GPA. And same as it works for SAT. So let's just say a student's a 3.5 GPA and has a 22 on their ACT, will take their GPA because it's higher and they'll get more scholarship funds that way. We haven't raised our tuition in 13 years, and our goal is to never raise it again. So pretty much I always ask students, okay, can you afford 24 without scholarships, without financial aid, without anything? Can you pretty much a year pay $24,000? It may be a little bit higher if you're a nursing student or engineering student, just because sometimes they have program premiums that are a little bit higher, and those have lab classes, which cost a little bit more. So that could be a little bit more expensive, but for most of the students, $24,000 a year is about the average. So, and that's without scholarships and financial aid. So when you take that, you put, let's just say they have the presidential scholarship, then $7,300. And then do you guys do local scholarships?
Yeah, we do. They can apply for, yeah.
Perfect. So local scholarships they can apply for. Pretty much there's a scholarship for everything, but it's really true. So they can bring in their scholarships. We do not cap their scholarships. So if they have, some other universities say, okay, if you have 5, pick your top 2 and the rest you leave. GCU, if you got 5, we'll bring them all in. If you got 10, we'll bring them all in. If you got 25, we'll bring them all in. So thankfully we do not cap our scholarships. So that kind of covers academics, tuition of that sort. If they do register before November 30th, I want my kids by at least November 20th, just in case. I just need them to sign something real quickly. Then they get an $800 priority registration on top of whatever academic scholarship bracket they are in. So really great opportunity to get that that $800 priority registration. So that's fantastic when it comes to, because that at least pays or covers an activity fee or classes, which is really, really nice. Pretty much to get in, for my students that are seniors this year, up till December, they can come in with a 2.84 and still receive the Antelope Scholarship for this year's seniors if they commit by December. So really good opportunity if they do have a little bit lower of a GPA and still want to come to GCU, there's still opportunities for them. But pretty much 3.0 GPA, 19 ACT, or 1,000 SAT. All the students will have to send me their unofficial transcripts just so I know that they're a high school student. You guys as career counselors can send me that if you would like. Pretty much if my students are, hey, how do I send my unofficial transcripts? I always try to direct them to your guys' office just so you get to see them. You guys can kind of ask them questions as well, explain local scholarships and all that fun sort so they understand. So 3.0 GPA, 19 ACT, or 1,000 on the SAT. And like I said, the application is free. There's no essays and takes about 15-20 minutes to complete. Any kind of questions that you guys have?
Not yet.
Okay, that's okay. So pretty much after they do the application, they send me their unofficial transcripts, and I at least meet with the student and at least one parent. Then the students can go on an all paid expense Discover trip. So a free trip to be a college student for 48 hours. So on this Discover trip, we'll either fly from our local airports. For me, I do East Bay as well. So all the East Bay schools. So I am able to fly out of Oakland and Sacramento. So if students are in your area that are okay with flying out of Sacramento, that's great as well, because there's a lot more trips out of Sacramento too. So either Oakland or Sacramento will fly out of. They will meet us at the airport. Parents will drop them off. We'll get students on the flight. As soon as we land in Sky Harbor, it's in Phoenix, then we'll shuttle from the airport to the campus. And as soon as they get to the campus, they will get a grand tour of the
Oh no, you
campus.
froze.
Hear me?
Okay, yeah, now I hear you again. You froze for a moment.
Okay, so when they get to campus, they'll get a tour, and then depending on their major, they'll divide in their majors. So for my nursing majors, they could be able to talk to professors and current students. So that's what's really nice about that. Other majors will do this.
Oh,
And then can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. Whether it's a basketball game or a soccer game or any events that are on campus, the students will be able to attend as well on their Discover trip. Then they'll spend the night on campus at one of our residential halls. And then the next morning we'll fly back home. My first trip goes out. I have another trip going out October 14th and 15th, and it is out of Sacramento. And then my Oakland one flies out of October 21st and 22nd. So they are Thursday, Friday events.
Okay.
The students would have to miss a little bit of school. But for them to see and experience what a college experience and being a college student is, that's a really good, because unless you're a D1 athlete, which most students are not.
What was that about the D1 athletes?
I don't know any other schools that fly out students for free,
right.
unless you're a D1 athlete.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a really good opportunity. I know when I went to GCU and I went on the Discover trip, and that made my decision as well. So a lot of students make their decision whether they go to GCU or not on this Discover trip. But yeah, any other questions that you guys have?
Where are you from? Like where did you grow up before you went to GCU?
So I live in the East Bay area, so like Brentwood, Discovery Bay, Oakley, Antioch. That's kind of I'm over here, and I represent the schools in this area as well.
And so you went to GCU as a student?
Correct. I just graduated with my bachelor's in psychology with minors in Christian studies and in counseling this past April.
And so why did you choose GCU?
Why did I choose GCU? That's always a good question that I did always want. How I found out about GCU was through a Facebook ad. And I know that sounds kind of crazy because most people don't use Facebook that are my age. But I did find him through a Facebook ad, and then my parents took me on a trip to Arizona to kind of go tour ASU because GCU was not in my radar. I didn't like ASU at all. So the admissions rep out there was like, if you don't like ASU, then you probably should try GCU. So went to GCU, got a tour, fell in love, and then committed. So pretty much for me, I wanted a D1 school because I love athletics, so D1 sports. I wanted a Christian university, and I also wanted to graduate as soon as possible. So for me, I was the first one in my graduating class to commit to a school. And I am also the first one in my graduating high school class to graduate from college. So the quicker the better for me because I'm going for a master's and then I will go for hopefully a doctoral degree. So not a lot of school. I don't want to be in school forever.
How big is GCU?
So GCU is growing at the blink of an eye, pretty much. So about the average, we have about 24,000 students on campus, and that's on campus. And then for online, we have over 90,000 students.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm not sure how many acres we're on for GCU, but they grow very quickly. So in the past few months, they put up 4 brand new apartment buildings. They have put in a building for like an education building and then a parking garage as well. So we are building very quickly.
Cool. Do most students get do most students end up in a job or grad school? Like, how's the job placement?
Yeah, so of course we always love our GCU alumni to work for GCU just because it helps you at the end of the day, helps us at GCU too. But yes, most students do graduate with either a job or at least an internship. And a lot of professors love to make sure that their students are in at least an internship, if not a job opportunity. So most students for like my education majors, they can move back here and do their studies, like their clinical hours for education, and they can move back to wherever they live and do that. And then most of the time they're offered a job at the school that they're at. And then for like my nursing majors, they after they take their NCLEX, a lot of GCU clinical hospitals love to just take on GCU students as well. So we do love to make sure all our students have at least job opportunities, and we do have a lot of job fairs on campus. A lot of professors outside of just being a professor work in that career. So if like they're a professor on campus and they're a counselor off campus, they do love to help their students at least find job opportunities or internships.
Oh. Well, thank you.
Of course.
We will let you know if we do go forward with a virtual fair.
Yeah.
And and we'll see if any of our teachers want any reps to visit.
And I could do virtual. We do have they're called live tours, and it's so if you have a health, do you guys have like a health not a health class, but in some high schools call them like colleges. So it's like if you're going to be a nurse, you're in like this category. So you work with classes that are kind of going to help.
We have a health pathway.
A pathway. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So we can do like for my health and nurse pathway group, they can do a live it's a live, like we'll send you like sutures and bananas, and so they'll learn how to suture up a banana as like they would if so we do have that. That's just an example for like my healthcare and nursing majors, but we do have other ones like our justice studies or our forensic psychology or our business group as well. So really cool. Engineering, we send out like these pens and they're like 3D. So they're about the kind of the size of a regular pen. And they do like 3D things, and really cool opportunity. So we could schedule some of those if teachers are interested, and they are academically inclined. So it's not them just hearing me present about GCU. They're also learning something that they would probably learn in a classroom.
That's cool. Okay, we'll let our pathway teachers know we do have the health one, and then we have an engineering one and business. So
Perfect.
those are some of the ones you mentioned. So we'll reach out to those teachers and then let you know.
Yeah, and if any other teachers, of course, this year until December, I do want to focus on seniors as much as possible. I totally understand sometimes there's a mixture like juniors and seniors in class, so I will take juniors. But if it's like a full junior class, I would want to do them a little bit towards next year, just because it's not time for them to apply yet.
Right.
But if we do focus on them next spring, like in March or April, they
Mhm.
could start applying in July
Cool.
and be accepted in July. So pretty much before they start school, they can already be either accepted to a school or committed to a school.
Sounds good.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions that you guys have?
That was awesome.